Bryan Pate here. Let's take a look at the shaft tile in our Capto unit. So as I'm looking at the main screen here, what it's going to say is it's going to say minus 3.8 D loft. So what does that actually mean? If I click on the tile itself, in the bottom right, there's going to be a button. It's either going to say plumb or address. Right now I have plumb selected. So what plumb is, when we were calibrating our putter, when this shaft was hanging vertically up and down, we're going to say it matches this alignment rod. That's our 0 mark in space. Now, based off of that 0 mark, this current example, the address position is going to say it was minus 6.9 degrees. What that means is the shaft was leaning towards the target 6.9 degrees that direction. So as we're in the plumb, that's going to give us relative to our 0 vertical mark where the shaft was leaning forwards, backwards, or if it started neutral. If we click on the address button down in the bottom right, what that's going to do is that's going to move that minus 6.9 into our 0 mark. So that's going to be the 0 where this started, and then we can go ahead and make that stroke. That's going to move the curve from being in the minus zone up into the starting at the 0 mark, and then give us our curve going through. Now every putter, as we swing it back and through, it's going to have some shaft lean towards the target or some de-lofting in the backswing, and then some adding through the shot in the through swing, just because that's working on an arc in the stroke. So again, the address position, that's wherever this putter starts at address is going to be our 0 mark. As we click back onto our plumb, relative to our 0 calibration line, how much the shaft was leaning towards the target or away from the target is going to be the number that it's going to display as our address position. So as we look at this little shot I hit, what I did was I held my putter really forwards, and then coming through, felt like the putter head overtook a little bit through it. That we can see in the inversion or the backstroke where the putter came to a stop and started to go the other direction, that it went from about 7 degrees forwards to almost 19 degrees forwards. As we came into impact, we were 3.8 degrees shaft leaning towards the target off of our 0 mark because we're in the plumb. Now if we click on the address, what that's going to do is, again, that's going to set the forward lean as the 0 mark. As I swung back, now it's going to say from that 0 mark that we established, the putter de-lofted or the shaft lean was 11.8 degrees in the backstroke. As I came into impact, now it's saying it's positive 3.2, which means based off of our 0 where we started, because we're in our address position, the shaft had 3.2 degrees less lean onto it. So the putter face was passing the grip more this direction as opposed to adding more shaft lean that direction. So that's kind of what's going on in here. If we have a preferred angle or a plane that we're swinging on, again, we can put that in there, and that's going to give us a purple line of what kind of your ideal wants to be for that student. We can have a shape quality, how smooth our putter was relative to the ideal line. So let's go ahead and remove the stuff and hit a putt here. So if you have the unit turned on, you can play around with some different options here based on what style of stroke you like to see. Do you like to see something that starts more neutral? Do you like to have a little bit of forward lean into it? But just roll some putts and see what type of putter you are, and then if the more shaft lean we have at impact, we might have to add some more loft to that putter face. So there's a quick little roll down the ruler. If we look at the plumb, now I start with my shaft leaning 4 degrees. So I normally start with the forward press into that. And as we come into impact, I almost returned it to the same spot. So I added a slight amount of loft. Now if I click on the plumb and change it to the address position, that's going to take that 4-degree shaft lean, make that the 0 mark, and then the impact is saying I added 0.3 degrees from that 0. So make sure you're in the correct area and understand what that's measuring to. It's measuring relative to our 0 mark in the plumb mode, or it's measuring relative to where we started in our address position. So that's a quick little look at the shaft tile with some explanations and some visuals that will help you understand it.